Hello YouTube viewers. I wanted to start our tour off here showing a comparison with the Quantum of the Seas and the Oceania Regatta. The Quantum of the Seas has 4,900 passengers, whereas the Regatta has 680. We were in room 3003, which is of course on the third deck, the lowest deck that passengers were on. The third deck is a little different in that there's only cabins along this one side. The other side is actually an engine room. We couldn't hear it at any time throughout the cruise. There were crew berthing areas on either end of our passageway. The elevators on the ship worked well. There were two sets, two in the front and two in the aft. They split the midsection from the aft and midsection from the forward part of the ship. They were quick. They were small, but the ship was sizes being so small, it really didn't seem to be a problem too often. Of course, we didn't really ride the elevators very often because we tried to take the stairs as much as possible. We're going to deck 9 here. And of course, where the elevator shafts are, there's also stairwells that go from the top to the bottom. We're entering the Waves dining area right here. This area is open for a large part of the afternoon, early morning to afternoon. You can get sandwiches, things like that. It's pretty handy, especially when you come back off an excursion or something like that, because the other dining rooms might not be open, but that one had longer hours. The pool area here had loungers all the way around it. During the day, when passengers were about, all these loungers had a type of covering over them that's like so you didn't have to use towels or anything, and they kept them nice and clean. Giving you another view of the Waves cafeteria area here, and sandwiches were made to order. One of the best ones we had, to my opinion, was the lobster and steak sandwich. We tried the Cuban and the Reuben sandwich, and both were good. The Cuban, I had trouble getting them to get the order right. They didn't like to put pickles on it for some reason. There was a bar here by the pool. This one was, we just passed the smoking area there, back behind us there. They had a ping pong table set up here. I never saw that getting used too much. On deck 9 here, they had a computer room for people to use. I didn't try any of those myself, so I can't vouch for that, but I know they had crew member in there on a regular basis helping people also. And then they had they called it a room for people so they could play cards, and they had card games organized every day for those that like to do that. This was the entrance to the spa. It wasn't open at that time, and that was also the only way to the fitness room. But I did get a couple pictures of that later on. This is off the fitness room is another whirlpool hot tub, and Tawny really enjoyed spending time there. And that door would go to the fitness room, but they wanted you to go through the spa. I'm going to go up to deck 10 here. Deck 10, we're in the forward part of the ship at this time, and deck 10 has the Horizons Lounge, which we're entering right now. Off to the left here is a interior smoking room. had great views from this area. A lot of people spent time here, especially like when we were viewing the glacier and things like that. They had afternoon teas here, and they'd have string instruments playing like for during afternoon tea, and in the evenings at 10:30 they would have music there, and so people could dance and things like that. This video I shot at 5:30 in the morning, so they did have some pastries out early for folks, and there was a coffee station there. I brought the video back here to show you the bar in the Horizons area and a little closer view of that coffee station. The coffee machines they used on here, basically all they made was espresso or an Americano, which was just espresso with water added in. They had a puzzle running at all times there also for anybody to work on. Now we're going up to deck 11 in the forward part of the ship. They had a shuffleboard set up here, and the items you needed to use that to play shuffleboard were stored in a box right there on the right hand side. They had a putting green along here. Several people would use that. And they had cornhole. We were cruising through the Gastineau Strait on our way to Juneau this morning, so you get to enjoy that channel here while we're taking a little tour of the ship. This is the walking track they had for folks that wanted to walk, which were a lot of those. It took 13 laps around this track to make 1 mile. It's a little tough to keep up with how many laps you're doing, so you'd have to really concentrate on that. I use my Apple Watch to track mileage and steps, but mileage I found on cruise ships gets really messed up when you walk on these tracks because of the way the ship moving through the water or something like that. It causes you to get a lot of miles for the number of steps that you're doing. Coming back here we're still on deck 10, but now we're in the aft part of the ship. We're right outside the Toscano's, which is a kind of an Italian type restaurant for specialty. The ship has 2 specialty restaurants, Toscano's and the Polo Grill. Right now we're in the library. It's a very nice library, and they had several books here. They had multiple copies of several of them also, and really good reading areas. And over here is Polo Grill, and I got you a couple still shots where I did take pictures of it when it was open. When we had dinner in both of those we'd pick sea days when we did our specialty meals. Coming back down to deck 9, you can see the Waves Waves restaurant is over to the left, but going this way, going to the Terrace Cafe. This is kind of a buffet style eating area on the ship, but by far had the best views of any place to eat on the ship other than on the backside of the Terrace Cafe. Got a little crowded there to the left, and I'll show you a shot just of that kind of with a lot of people there. It would get kind of chaotic right in that area. Get lines on both sides and people trying to squeeze through the middle. But for the most part, they serve the food to you, so you didn't have people handling the utensils and things like that. No matter, even if you ordered in the Waves Grill and you told them you wanted to sit on the back of the ship there, they would give you a number and you could go back there and sit, and then someone would bring your food to you once it was ready. We had breakfast here in the Terrace several times, and actually had our evening meal here a couple times. You could get lobster and steak and shrimp grilled to order any night. And again, we're back out to the Waves dining area. Just behind us to the left here is the they had smoothies and ice cream, that sort of thing. We'll head down the stairway now. Decks 8, 7, and 6 all had cabins on those for staterooms. I was heading down to 6, and I remembered I need to show you the laundrette. The ship did have a self-service laundry on here. It had 4 sets of washers and dryers in it, and they even provided laundry soap. For some reason, though, they only have it open from 7 until like 11 at night. But and on sea days, it gets really busy, so you got to really get in there early if you want to take advantage of that. And there's no cost to use any of those machines. We'll head down to deck 5 now. Deck 5 had the main dining room. Just before you got into the grand dining room, the main dining room, there was a coffee bar that for any of the specialty coffees or anything are included in your cruise fare, as well as any drink that is non-alcoholic is included in your standard fare on Oceania. The grand dining room, there are no appointments, or you don't set up any reservations for it. You just show up there at that desk and they'll seat you. We never had to wait. I think if you get there right before they open, sometimes there might be a little line that queues up, but there's always plenty of seating in here, and the food was excellent. And they had a variety of seating options, lots of tables for 2 along the windows, and tables for 4 scattered throughout, or even and some larger ones. And you could request sharing if you wanted to, or eat by yourself or with a couple, however you wanted to do it. And they did have a little lounge there beside the coffee bar, and always saw a lot of people there just enjoying spending time together. As we go out of the grand dining room here, we're going to go in kind of what is sort of an atrium. Here it's only 2 levels, but right in this area is where we would see people sitting in the afternoons or right before dinner, with the strings would be playing right there, and I'll insert a shot of that. And then right near this area is where the shops were. They were small and had a few items, and of course they had jewelry over there also. This lounge is called Martini's. It was kind of a mid-evening into late evening bar right outside the casino. The casino didn't see a lot of use the passengers on the Oceania just don't seem to be into the casino too much, but looked like there was always a machine available there. Wanted to show you this. There's a water machine right here, as well as they had them in a few other areas on there. They provided us with refillable water bottles at the beginning of the cruise, and those you could just go in and fill those up, and it was really good water, filtered. Just instead of having plastic bottles that you'd pick up, or cans of water like you do on some cruise lines, it saved all that waste. Right now we're heading into the main entertainment area. It's called the Regatta Lounge, and they had a show here at 9:30 each evening. Sometimes a comedian, magician, or the production team would put on a show with singing and dancing, that sort of thing. The music styles varied. They used the lounge for nature presentations and things like that, which were recorded and put on TV also. One thing you'll find on the Regatta is that in any of the public areas where they're playing music or something like that, the music's not loud. Like on some ships, you'll find just music is just blaring and you can't hardly talk to anybody. But on the Regatta, you don't have that problem. And it always seemed to be music that I would enjoy listening to. So I thought that was a big plus. There's another bar here that's open when production shows and things like that are going on. I'm going back out the same way we came into the Regatta Lounge, but there's on the other side is the exact same setup coming into it. And we never had a problem finding a seat there. There's not really a promenade deck. They had this length of deck in the midsection of the ship. Basically went from beginning of the midsection to the end of the midsection on each side. There are like a couple chairs right there set up, but that's it. Other than that, it's mostly mechanical equipment and things like that for the lifeboats and whatnot. So wasn't really a great place to use. Just kind of an alternate route from one end of the ship to the other. We're still on deck 5. They had another stairwell coming down through the atrium here that would take you down to deck 4. This is where customer service was, and off to the left, far left there, is the destinations desk. So if you needed something with a shore excursion or something like that, that's where they would set you up with that. Customer service was never busy, and always very friendly and very helpful. That's the stairwell down to level 3. Here's a schematic of what our cabin looked like. We had an ocean view cabin, like say on deck 3. It was big enough for us. It had a queen size bed. It was very, very comfortable. The storage options in the cabin were excellent. There were drawers and cabinets everywhere. The only downfall was the restroom. It was tiny. You could basically just about turn around in it, and that was it. The shower was so small that it was my size, and it was terribly small. And but it did have, it had a room safe and a place to hang up your clothes and plenty of drawers. Here's me in the shower. And it had a small 2-person sofa. The refrigerator was stocked with complimentary drinks.
Thank you for watching, and we hope you've enjoyed this video and found it useful. We really had a great time on the 10-day cruise that we did to Alaska on the Oceania Regatta. If you are looking for a small ship experience, you might want to consider the Regatta or one of its sister ships. There are 3 other ships in this R class.
If you have any questions, please feel free to leave those in the comments.